All right. Welcome everyone to another episode of iSocial Talks. This is episode 14. So I first off want to thank everybody for joining another episode and subscribing to the channel. I've been getting some amazing feedback. It's kind of cool. The power of video is that some of my original episodes, episodes 2, 3, 4, talking about hashtags, talking about some of the questions I did there early on are starting to gain traction and being shared. And it's kind of the cool part of definitely video and what video can bring from a standpoint of really just kind of living on. And so today's episode, if you can see down below there or there, is probably the episode you've been waiting for. Okay, maybe not waiting for, but probably the episode that you expected. And I'm talking Twitter chats, tweet chats. And the reason I say that is I'm kind of a Twitter chataholic, and I have kind of taken over the role of someone that not only believes in the power of Twitter chats, but my personal brand and kind of my mission with what I'm doing at my new role as the Chief Digital Strategist at BroadSuite really align with what Twitter chats represent. So I've been writing blogs about them. I have my website, iSocialFans/Twitter chats, that has my public Google Calendar with about 4,000 subscriptions to that calendar right now. And so I guess what I'm saying is Twitter chats have had a major impact on not only who iSocialFans is, but really where I found my voice, how I met most of you who are watching this show. You've probably engaged or found me via a Twitter chat. So I kind of had the perfect opportunity. The team over at OneCube, so that's @OneCube, so you'll know them from MediaLab Rat. You have Peter, and you have Robert, and you have Jessica and the team over there at OneCube. They also have Spider OneCube, which I'm a huge fan of that tool. And more importantly, from a Twitter chat perspective, they're the ones that have TweetChat.com. I know which most of you are extremely familiar with, as that's the Twitter chat client that I refer most of my friends to, and most of the clients that I work with. I tell them that's where you need to be doing Twitter chats on. It makes it a lot easier to manage and live and populate. So I actually got 7 questions from their team that they wanted me to answer for an upcoming blog post. They've been extremely supportive of my Twitter chats that I'm running right now, and just from the Twitter chat community, the power of social listening. So I thought, what better way than to do a video of me answering some of these questions that they put together. It also makes it so I don't have to type all the answers, because let's just face it, I'd much rather talk into a video camera than I would type up anything. So we'll jump into kind of the questions. I'm going to roll through these questions. Hopefully by the end, this might be a little bit longer of an iSocial Talks episode, but I promise you it's worth watching it. You can hit pause, come back to it. Hopefully you hit the watch it later now or the favorite button, and you're already subscribed, right, everyone? So that you have no problem coming back to this episode. But I'm going to make sure you understand where and why I started using Twitter chats, why I started the Twitter chats that I currently run, and then a little bit more about what you can do from a Twitter chat perspective. So I will hopefully cover all of that. If I miss some things or I don't cover everything that you're looking for, I guarantee we'll be hitting these on future episodes. So the first question that was asked is, tell us a little bit about yourself. So most of you already know that if you listen to episode 0. I give a little bit of background of who I am. But from a Twitter chat perspective, I would say Twitter chats to me originally were something that I would randomly jump in, and I jumped into a couple ones long time ago when I first got on Twitter, and I was using my sports handle, and I kind of really found an interest in the leadership Twitter chats as well as the human resources Twitter chats. And mostly that was because I didn't really know many people that were presenting and delivering on that. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. You can see from the book behind there, Leaders Eat Last, an awesome book. Of course, The Why is another book that I'm a big fan of. So the leadership chats are really the ones that kind of pulled me together and pulled me into the Twitter chat area. But for me, it was randomly jumping in, kind of finding these times. So what is a Twitter chat? For those that don't know, it's really a hashtag that everybody gathers around at a certain time For me, the Twitter chat is much more than just that hashtag at that 1 hour time frame. That hashtag really represents a time for us to come together as a megaphone of the community. But that hashtag and that community exists 24/7, 365, thanks to the power of social media, blog posts. So what I've been trying to do is actually even take that a step further in the Twitter chats that I'm running and hosting myself. So for me, it's that I wrote a blog post and I called it, it's just like Cheers. It's that bar feeling where you could miss a couple of weeks, but when you show up and say, hi everyone, I'm here, tweeting using this hashtag, people, it's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. It's a family fun. It's that networking. I know Nicole Miller of Buffer, who runs Buffer Chat, a great Twitter chat, said, she called it's the networking events on Twitter, and that's true. It's a place to get together, talk about a certain subject. My friend Tim McDonald always says that there's a difference between networking and creating a community or coming together as a community. And I like to think of the great Twitter chats are a community because we're coming together as a purpose. We have a common purpose, a goal, a strategy, and we're not linked together by the people that are involved in it. More, we're together around that one purpose. That hashtag represents a purpose, represents a subject or a category, and we bring in subject matter experts as guests. So really, a Twitter chat, you'll see a Twitter chat and it'll say, I'll use my social selling hour, SS hour, that I co-host with Rachel Miller. It's Mondays at 4 p.m. So Mondays at 4 p.m. you can come jump on Twitter, use the hashtag SS hour. We also do a Google Hangout like you see here, live interviewing our guest, which is kind of a second element that I do with our Twitter chats. But along with that is really that it's not just that 1 hour. We're talking social selling and social business and social listening with that hashtag throughout the week. We're using that hashtag. People are messaging us with that hashtag. So really that is the community element of Twitter chats. So that's a little bit of background on that side. So question number 2, how do you use Twitter and TweetChat in your business? So I wrote a blog post today, and it's, if you want feedback, shut up and listen. And right now you'll hear lots of buzz, people talking about they want feedback. They want to be involved in their community. They're listening to their community. Well, Twitter chats, in my opinion, are that chance and that opportunity to not only listen, but actively engage on Twitter with those that are active. Twitter has tons of noise. Twitter is a fire hose. I get frustrated with Facebook because my newsfeed algorithm is all over the place, right? I never know what order things are coming in. Well, Twitter hasn't screwed that up yet. They better not. I heard the rumors, and that's a whole nother iSocial Talks for me giving my opinion on the rumors of them changing that. But for me, the Twitter chats gave me a sense of filtering all that noise and coming together to just talk about one topic. Not only find new people that I'm not following, but find new topics, new thought leaders, new other communities, even other hashtags to follow by simply showing up and utilizing a Twitter chat hashtag. So I will say that you don't have to host a Twitter chat if you're a guest, if you're a brand or a leader. I think too often brands and leaders attempt to host their own Twitter chat, and then it becomes very salesy marketing, and they try to focus it only on their product. There's been a very few Twitter chats that I can think of that are a brand-focused Twitter chat that are really good because they're not just all about the brand. Some of them off the top of my head that I can think of, I mentioned Buffer Chat. Atomic Reach does a chat called Atomic Chat, which is another great one that they do. That is a brand, but they're talking about blogging, analytics, audience. Another one is TweetChat, which is talent culture, which is a chat that was the first chat for me that had the biggest impact on my career was TweetChat, hashtag TweetChat. It's on Wednesday nights. And that one is run by Megan Brio and the Talent Culture Company. And it's not ever really talking about talent culture or talking about what they do from a services or a brand, but it's really talking about HR tech and HR focused. And that's the great thing about these brand chats that get it. They're focused on the community, what the community cares about. They're not selling you on their services. They're not selling you on their product. Because I can tell you what, if you engage in these chats as a brand and you engage as someone that cares, and I use that hashtag that's over my shoulder, show you care, they'll come to you and they'll learn your services because they care and they know that you care about them. You don't have to sell them. You don't have to market them. You don't have to overpopulate or spam them. We get enough of that in every other channel, every other email box, every other thing. Twitter chats, it's great because so many people have Twitter accounts but are never active, or you don't know when to follow them. And the thing about a Twitter chat is during that 1 hour, you come together with people that are active, that are engaged. And you have lots of lurkers, lots of people jump into a Twitter chat and they kind of hang out in the background, which is fine because probably one of my favorite things about social is the social listening element, which the team at OneCube does amazing with the tool SpiderCube, which I absolutely love for social listening. So for me, for my business, what I'm doing is I've launched a couple of Twitter chats and I have some more coming that are focused around these common purposes. And the one that the next question is what is Cloud Talk? And so I'll kind of explain how that one. Cloud Talk is a Twitter chat and Google Plus Hangout that is focused around the cloud computing technology area. And the reason that is, and the reason I created that is I participate in a lot of Twitter chats, and there's lots of great ones. There's some that are focused on some elements of technology. There's some that are focused on some elements of mobile technologies. There's CXO Talk, which is one of my favorites on Fridays from Vala Apspar. But when it comes down to it, the community itself, cloud computing and technology, which is something that I've worked in almost all of my career, and that's really where my focus has been in it, is enterprise technology. It really needed a voice. The community, not only is cloud confusing, and the question I ask every week on Cloud Talk is, what is the funniest explanation you've ever heard for the word cloud? And the reason I do that is because for the years that I've been working in technology and as of recently in cloud, so many people think of the cloud and have all kinds of different ideas of what it is, what it does. I mean, technically the cloud is what's powering our smartphone devices, and too often people think of it as like a data center up in the air, or it's something in the ether. And what I was able to do is, and I'm working with brands, and so I have IBM and Avnet, two big brands that saw the value in a Twitter chat and the Google Plus Hangout and said, hey, I want to sponsor these. I want to have a part, and I want to give you guys the platform to get the cloud community together, talking Internet of Things, big data, all of these different topics. Pretty much anything that has to do about emerging, trending technology, we're going to talk about Thursdays at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And it's great. We've had 2 guests now. We have our 3rd guest coming on this week. We had the CEO of Ustream week 1 talking about video and how not only is video changing the internet, but how the cloud has enabled their video usage. This past week, we had Tim Crawford, a friend of mine, on talking about the C-suite disruption, CMO versus the CIO, and how that affects cloud. And really what Cloud Talk is it's that ability to come together for this 1 hour and talk about cloud, but it's much more than that. We're calling it a community media hub. So we have a podcast that actually is coming out as a spawn of Cloud Talk. We have broadsuite.com/Cloud Talk that has all of the past videos, so you can watch older videos of the 1 hour interviews. We have slide shares that are coming out that have information about cloud technology that our thought leaders are putting together. We have some infographics that are coming together off of that as well. Really, we're going to take this 1 hour of great content, great community engagement, and we're going to upcycle it into all of these different medias. And I use that term as my term for, rather than recycling content or focusing on, oh, I don't know what content to create. What does the community want? Well, I'm gonna talk with the community in this 1 hour Twitter chat, and then I'm gonna upcycle that into all of this other content. And it starts with these Hangouts. I've added the Hangout element to a Twitter chat, which I know some of the other chats do as well. And for me, that not only gives someone that can't watch the chat live, that gives them the ability to feel a part of the community, but it lives on forever. And that video can then create all of these different elements. So question 4, which I kind of talked to because that's kind of how I work, was, so why did you decide to create the new Twitter chat on the cloud? For me, and for the funny thing is, Rachel Miller and I started Social Selling Hour, which is Mondays at 4 p.m. And people ask, well, why did it take you so long to create your own Twitter chat? well, I didn't need to create a Twitter chat for the longest time. I was participating upwards of 40 Twitter chats a week, and I didn't find a topic or a subject that I not only felt like I had an expertise in, but that I could provide value. So why create my own when I could just jump into great ones like social chat, get real chat, then there's atomic chat, and there's mobile chat, and you have Chat World, which is another one that is from a company here locally in Arizona that's doing a great job at a branded chat and kind of getting itself out there. And so for me, it wasn't about, I didn't want to host my own chat because I've always, because Twitter chats have had such a big impact on my life, I wanted to eventually host Twitter chats, but I wanted to find one that made sense. And Social Selling Hour, Rachel Miller and I came together. She works for a social CRM tool, Pipeliner, and it kind of just made sense. We came together as hosts. We launched that. We had our 24th episode this past week. By far our largest audience that we've ever had. We had a panel discussion with 3 of the leading experts in social selling on a Hangout, as well as 150 plus people joining us on Twitter. And really, that was a mind-blowing experience. To me, it was even better. My dad, who is a true salesman, actually joined and watched via YouTube, because you don't have to be on Google+, which he is not. You don't have to be on Twitter, which he is not, to be a part of the communities that I'm creating. And he actually was texting me what his thoughts were while he was watching the live interview. And I actually brought those into the Twitter chat, which is slightly emotional for me, because it was kind of cool to, that I was bridging this, I'm working in social media, focusing on social business, but I was able to take a community chat and engage with my dad, who's loves the topic and has a passion for that, but he's not on social. And now we talked about getting him a Twitter account last night after he was part of that. So to me, that's kind of like the successful road that is the Twitter chats. So number 5, it says, you're a proud dad of 3 girls. What do they think the cloud is? So I love this question. Good job, Jessica. My daughters, I have 3 of them, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and then a 9-month-old. I guess she's 9 months, maybe 10 months. So I have Chloe, Kinsley, and Logan are my 3 daughters, definitely in my world. And for them, technology is their eyes. They call it their iPhones, which used to be iPhones. I used my old jailbroke iPhone 2G, my 3G, and my 3GS, and had them in my daughter's room playing music and has games on it. But eventually they were too slow and too old. They couldn't play the newest Dora or Peppa the Pig. So we got them iPod Touches. And so they think of the cloud is they can watch their videos, their shows, anywhere they want. When we're in the car, when they're at a dinner, they learn a lot of their alphabet. My daughter, being the oldest one, my 4-year-old, Chloe, she is amazing with her alphabet, and it's because of the iPad and the iPhone, the games that she was able to play and learn. And so I don't think of technology as always a bad thing, and they have limitations. There's only certain times they can use it, but for them, the cloud is they get everything they want anywhere they want. And I didn't have that as a child, and I'm not the oldest generation. I'm an older millennial. I'm 33, and so I didn't walk uphill barefoot both ways like my dad says he did. But for me, I remember having, my parents had a Suburban, and I had a little, probably, actually it might have been the size of my iPhone 6 Plus video in the middle console of our car, and we could watch a VHS tape when we were on these long road trips from Virginia Beach to Pittsburgh. And that was, to me, mind-blowing. But it wasn't cloud-enabled because it had to be a VHS. And now my daughters are we're downloading new apps, getting the latest episode of Dora on their phone. And that really is what cloud is to me. I'm a big wearable tech guy. I have a Pebble watch. I have Fitbits. To me, technology and the cloud are exciting because they're going to open up new opportunities, new data, new information that we could never dream of. And I think that's an exciting time. So for my daughters, I think for them, it's Dora anywhere they want is what the cloud is to them. So question 6 here, he says, you're passionate about social community and technology. What are your 3 tips for using Twitter and engaging on TweetChat? So this is a good one. 3 tips for engaging on Twitter and using TweetChat and Twitter chats in general. So for me, a Twitter chat is great when it's a community. When you can come in there, you can listen, you can miss a week, but when you show up, you're there because the topic, the people, it's about the community. It has nothing to do with the host. You know, I host two of mine, or I host two Twitter chats today. I will host a couple more eventually. And for me, hopefully people don't join to listen to me or to hear my tweets, because they can do that anytime. I tweet a lot, I talk a lot. That's why my catchphrase is I talk fast and tweet faster, and it's the truth. But for me, Twitter chats are that time to come together and engage with the community, find other people that are doing certain things. And so one of my first tip is find Twitter chats that maybe pique your interest but aren't in your industry. I talked about TweetChat being one of my favorite chats. It's HR technology and HR culture, but I've never had a job in HR. But the reason I loved that community, I was drawn to it, was people were focused on people and on leadership, on culture, and all of these things that I also work with when I'm teaching technology and I'm working in social business. But I would have never had my opportunity to meet amazing people at IBM that I've met, the amazing Megan and Kevin who run that chat, Lori, and all these people that work in that area that have really not only taught me amazing things, but opened my mind to new blog posts, new content. So for me, one of the biggest tips that I say is find a Twitter chat that is outside your area. TweetChat.com has a great calendar. You can type in a hashtag that you want to visit or you want to look for a Twitter chat, and it'll give you all of that information. It will tell you ones. If you find your most favorite hashtag, try to find a Twitter chat off of that hashtag. You can also look at my calendar and the slide share that I created with my top 20 Twitter chats. That'll also give you an idea. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to answer the questions and then reply to other people. You'll see Q1, Q2, Q3, and a lot of times people get overwhelmed and it's going too fast, so they don't want to answer a question. Tweet what you want to tweet when you want to tweet it. If you want to answer question 2 when they're on question 4, go ahead and do so. People in the community will engage and still interact. You know, Twitter chat is a 1-hour block for the most part, and it goes fast. But there's the nice thing about these clients like TweetChat is that you can pause and scroll and slow it down. You can just hit favorite. You can simply just sit back and watch. You can retweet a couple of them and just enjoy. Try to give as much as you plan on getting out of a Twitter chat, and I promise you'll find extreme value in it. My number 3 my TweetChat tip or Twitter chat tip would have to be yourself. It's really hard and stressful to do Twitter chats. I do a lot of them. I'll do 3 or 4 in 1 hour if I sometimes do. I've even done 3 of them from my iPhone. I have 3 different Twitter apps, so I can switch between the 3 and do a Twitter chat via mobile. But the thing about them, you can just be if you have to stress out about how do I answer this, who's going to think what, when someone asks a question, we have a questions in our Cloud Talk this week coming up. It's like, how has technology affected your life? Share your story. Share what you're passionate about. Now, don't plug or link drop whatever, the very first time. But if there's an article, a blog post that you wrote that's about the topic, feel free to say, hey, I even like to do here's my personal plug, or here's my, here's my humble brag, but here's a blog post I wrote about that certain topic. That's fine. But try to just be yourself, engage, enjoy that hour of it's one-to-one conversations with a community of people that are amazing. So, that's kind of my top 3 tips. And then the last question we have here, so hopefully I am not drowning on too long for you on the video, but my last question that I have from Jessica and the team over there at OneCube, what is the most rewarding part of engaging with the community on TweetChat? To me, the most rewarding part, and I'll put this in perspective, it's October 2014, October 2013, I had 2,000, a little less than 2,000 followers on Twitter. I love Twitter. It was great. I felt like I could consume lots of knowledge. I could learn lots of things, but I never really felt like I had a home on Twitter. It was, I had Facebook groups. I love Google Plus communities. LinkedIn, I've always enjoyed the LinkedIn groups. But for me, the power of community is having a home, having that place where, it's that everybody knows your name. And Twitter chats gave me that ability to not only share my story, share my voice, but it gave me a home. And that home can be that 1-hour block on 40 chats a week. Now, I don't do all 40 chats every week, but I try my best to jump into chats, especially when I hear the topics or guests that I really want to enjoy. I've been blessed. I've been a guest on over 20 Twitter chats in the last year. And October 2013, I had 2,000 followers. I never cared about follower numbers. Today, I'm right at 17,000 followers. That's 15,000 followers in a year. I've never paid for one, and I've never actively recruited one follower. For me, Twitter chats opened my tweet account, opened what I tweeted about to brand new people that I never knew about. People always ask me, who do I follow? Where do I find new followers that I want to engage with? Well, a Twitter chat gives you the ability to find new followers that are passionate about a certain topic or subject, and they're active and they're engaged. Too many times we follow people on Twitter and they post 2 tweets a week. That's it. Well, that's great, and some people can do that and still find value, but I want to find the people that are active, passionate, engaged. For me, that's Twitter chats. Twitter chats have really had a major impact. Some of the person that I'm a business partner in Broadsuite, Broadsuite.com, and Daniel Newman, who is my partner, we actually first connected on TChat. Very first time we ever met or engaged was through TChat. One of the very first times I've met, Matt Collier, who's kind of like the godfather of Twitter chats, was on Blog Chat, which is another amazing chat that's been around forever. And then you have chats like, you have CM Chat run by Jessica Northey, who does country music chat, where she brings in guests and artists and has really done an amazing job of growing her Twitter chat community. So for me, it's about a community. It's not about that 1 hour. That 1 hour is that megaphone to promote and come together publicly. But it's a community of people that I've found, I've engaged with. I call them my social friends. I'm very lucky to have a huge group of social friends that have not only helped me grow and find my voice on Twitter, but have given me that ability to find that home. So once again, I want to thank Broadsuite, who I work for, who's allows me to do these iSocial talks. Jessica and the team over there at OneCube, who asked me to do this interview and kind of give them some feedback. Make sure you go to tweetchat.com for when you're doing your Twitter chats. It's a great client, makes it easy to do Twitter chats. You can see only that hashtag in your feed, so you're not distracted or all over the place. For the Twitter chats that I run, when I'm running and hosting them, I use TweetDeck, tweetdeck.com. I use the Mac client. But most of all, go out there. I have all of this information, all of the chats that I participate on. If you go to tweetchat.com or you go to isocialfans.com/tweetchat, Twitter chats, you're going to get all of the information you could possibly need to jump in there and join. If I didn't give you enough reason or didn't give you enough value, or you're curious, what Twitter chats do I join? Why do I can't find one that I love? Tweet me. I promise I will get back to you. isocialfans, and I will be happy to point you in the direction of a good host, a good Twitter chat, my calendar, the team over there at OneCube, who does an amazing job. There's some other tools out there as well that do a great job for Twitter chats. Twitter chats is about a community coming together, and together without limitations, without borders. I'm joining Twitter chats even at 11 o'clock my time at night, because it's a Twitter chat that's hosted out of Australia. And to me, that's the power of social, is that we can connect without borders, come together as a community and change the world. So with that, thank you again. Make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hopefully you're enjoying these. Share this with your community. Tell them that if they're not doing Twitter chats, they're not really doing Twitter, because if you want to live and enjoy Twitter, Twitter chats are where it's at. So until the next iSocial Talks, Brian Fanzo, known as iSocial Fans, saying, see you on the next Twitter chat.